Hello, welcome to 1500ESPN.com. I am Matthew Coller. This is Judd Zulgad, as if you didn't already know.
Hey, where's Ben Gessling?
Ben Gessling is on the campus of ESPN in Bristol.
Oh, well, somebody real important.
It's important, yes. So Judd and I did another episode of Purple Podcast. Make sure you check that out or use subscribe on iTunes. But we decided to give you a little video action here as well to talk about the NFL drafts coming up for the Vikings. And Judd, my question for you, sir, is What is the number one priority for the Minnesota Vikings in the NFL draft? Not just with the second round pick, but in the NFL draft at large, number one.
I would say this. I would say, with no first round pick, I would say my overall philosophy, if I'm the Vikings, is this. On Saturday night into Sunday morning, I want to feel good about my offensive line. And right now, I've signed a couple tackles. They might not be great, but they give me starting caliber players. But I go back to last year, and the Minnesota Vikings showed up at training camp, and they said after 2015, we have bolstered our offensive line, and we've done that with numbers, and we have more numbers. And what we learned is, well, you can bring in a lot of people to do a job, but if they can't do the job, it doesn't matter.
Right.
So what I want to feel good about is I want to pick players for the first time in a long time, because this team has ignored that position across the board. It's 5 different ones for far too long. I want to feel good about the players I brought in, and I want to feel as if Riley Reef goes down or Remmers or anybody else, I want to feel that I have quality depth, something that I don't think you ever felt in 2016. That's my priority.
I agree with you. I think if they don't come out of the draft with at least 2 offensive linemen, that they did not do their job. One would be okay, and if they get it in the second round, then that's going to be helpful, more than likely a player who could make an impact this year. But I think that they should come out with more than one. We're talking about prospects here, 2nd, 3rd, 4th round picks, so you need to take as many shots as you can, hoping that you get one really good player. I would also put skill, help for Sam Bradford. I don't think you could come out of this draft without either a running back, a wide receiver, or a tight end who could have an impact this year. I hope that they're not banking on Laquan Treadwell to be like, you've heard this line before where they're like, well, it'll be like getting a free agent, or it'll be like getting a draft pick, right? You've heard that over and over again when a player fails in their first year. Oh, it'll be like we're adding another guy.
No.
Well, that is not how they should look at it. They should look at it as Sam Bradford needs as much help as he could possibly get, and we need to draft another guy to try and give him that.
Yeah, and Treadwell very well, as along with basically Collar, the entire 2016 draft class might be a bust. So I honestly think if you get a lot of production out of any of that draft class, that you should be very pleased with that. But if you count on that, it's a big mistake. Big mistake.
I would also say for priorities, it's not number one because it's very hard to get a starting defensive tackle where the Vikings are. If you don't have a first-round pick, and a lot of times even if you do, that's a hard position to play. But they should come away with a defensive tackle that can add some depth there to that position with the potential of becoming a starter, whether it's this year or down the road, because the Sharif Floyd situation very much up in the air, and I think that pushes defensive tackle right to the top of the list.
Your prediction on second-round pick. At 48, what do they take?
I think it's hard because it's down to those couple of positions. I think that they take a luxury pick in the second round, whether it is the tight end, the wide receiver, the running back, and then they wait until the 3rd and the 4th to get their offensive lineman.
I told you, I am predicting defensive tackle. I think Zim wins out. I think Mike Zimmer, as much as Mike knows that the offense needs to improve, is going to tell them I was brought here for the defense. And if you look at his defenses, they have usually had a 3 technique who's pretty good to very good. They don't have that now. So I think there's a fighting chance that Bridgewater and Floyd never play in this league again. And therefore, Zimmer's not going to go into 2017 with a roll of the dice, free agent type of player at 3 technique. I think they are going to go after a defensive tackle.
My long shot but real possibility for number 48 overall is safety. I think that they would like to add another body to that defensive backfield.
Intriguing.
I think they do need to add it. And if there was a safety or a cornerback or kind of a hybrid, someone there, I'm thinking of Jabril Peppers or Budda Baker, one of those nice players that could be there in the second round.
Budda Baker.
I think that they'll consider him. I think that they will. And I think they should, with some uncertainty with Mackenzie Alexander and also the future with Andrew Sendejo. a different, more versatile player, more talented player at that position might really open up Harrison Smith
Yep.
and be a nightmare for opposing teams.
A year ago, February, correct? Mike Zimmer sat at, I think, the Combine, but he sat there and said, I would love to have a safety by Harrison Smith who I can turn loose.
Yep.
So I think his goal, I really think that his focus is going to be taking the defense from being very, very good for a portion of 2016 to, it fell off, but was still good, to being, in the words of PJ Fleck, elite in 2017. So that actually makes sense. And Sendejo, who, he's not terrible, but he doesn't have the ability to turn Harrison Smith loose. I think we would all be very intrigued to see if you had a really reliable safety, a good safety by Harrison Smith, if Harrison Smith would then become the best safety in the league, which I think would be a possibility.
Yep.
I think if he was given the right situation, I think we could be talking about the best safety in the National Football League in 2017.
I hope you all have an elite time watching the draft.
Defense.
Elite fun.
1500ESPN.com, by the way, is the place to come for all the coverage, right, Matthew Coller?
It certainly is. And all of the pre-draft coverage, like draft simulations.
Get a haircut, would you?
Oh,
You're creeping me out.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.